and find a way to help you get over these hurdles placed in our path. And this is not meant to amuse you. This is for all those who have questions but are afraid to ask.
I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. No. When times get hard, you lose your way. Open your mind and hear what I say.
This is a message for the hard and the soft. To those who tune in weekly and to those who keep an eye out for 8 p.m. on Sundays and turn their radios off. The truth hurts. The cloth has been pulled. We're walking around half dead. Use this show as your IV. Alive and Free is a new movement. We've achieved self-destruction. A street soldier promotes self-improvement.
Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah. Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah.
Hey there, Street Soldiers. This is Lady Estelle and the Street Soldier crew, and we are delighted. We are back to spend another Sunday evening with you. Your host this evening is glad to see that we are still healthy, safe, alive, and free. That's Dr. Joseph E. Marshall Jr.
That's me. Hey there, Street Soldiers. Yes, we're back again, back again. We're always here. Well, sometimes we take a break, but most of the time we're here doing everything we can to make it good in your neighborhood, or as we say, playing a little music, saving a lot of lives. Ready to go. Important topic for you tonight. As always, we'll jump into that at the bottom of the hour once we get through the news. So I could tease it, and maybe we'll tease it. Let's put it like this. There's a San Francisco, very prestigious high school that's having some real issues. Sign of the time. So we're going to go into that because shouldn't be happening. But hey, a lot of things should be happening in this country, and they are. That's how it is. So you're going to want to hear all about this. All right, Dr. Marshall here, all things alive and free. Omega Boys Club and Street Soldiers ready to roll. That's me. It'd be nice if you unmuted, Lady Estelle.
I'm just talking, and all I said was, it's probably a good thing that I was muted. Hey there, Street Soldiers. This is Lady Estelle.
It's always fun to see somebody talk when they're muted. They just
That is not funny.
All right, who's next?
Hey there, Street Soldiers. This is B Serenity.
Good to
Hi,
see
Bree.
you, Serenity.
With the scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really, really exhausted. It's been a very long.
You've been working hard, girl. You've been working hard. I know.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything with your hair, so you just, how that goes.
So my head has to be covered for 7 days.
Oh, that's right. You were telling me all about that. Yes.
So I have to wear white for 7 days, have my head covered for 7 days, because I just got my Warriors today. So, yeah, it's just been a long
The ritual has begun.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
Yes. Yes. Oh my. All right. Keep us posted. Well, anything you can tell. Maybe some things you can't tell, but Yeah.
I can still tell. It's sacred, but I can still tell, It's not bad. So
We will be with you through the whole journey. I mean, as much as we can be with
the processing for sacred rituals and rites is better when you take it in and you hold it and you let it be with you and you be with it until you come through the other side.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I won't ask you nothing. She just told me.
Well, good evening, Street Soldiers. This is Anne handling the Zoom and the Facebook chat right now. We want to say hello to Lady Estelle's sister. She is joining us and says good evening. And she is your #1 fan, I must say.
All right. And my big sister.
Yeah. we're really excited to, have you discuss and ask questions in the chat room too. So please feel free to post anything in there and we'll read it right here in the Zoom Facebook chat room too.
Absolutely. Can't hear you. Oh, you
No,
doing
I was
that?
just messing with you. I'm not on mute. I was just
You doing that on purpose. I knew it. I knew
Hey,
it.
Malcolm.
I do that to my kids all the time. I do it to my son. Hey, what's up? What's up, ladies?
Hey there. Hey, Malcolm.
Hi, lovely lady E. Nice to see your face.
Thank you.
What's up, Bree? Going through something deep and powerful. It's nice to see. And what's up, Amber Seb, my longtime friend. And Doc, I like the shirt you got on, the plaid. Yeah, looking spry, brother.
Well, you
Man.
know.
All I can say is I should have had stock in GameStop.
I know.
I missed out on that one. So this week I'll be looking for another one, maybe that is under the radar. But as much, and I go in GameStop a lot because I get games for my kids, and if I only would have known.
Ugh, it was $5. Then it went to $4.50 in a day, 2 days.
There was a nice story in I think it was in Long Beach about a young man who made money this week, 150 G's. And he said he was going to go back and buy the apartment building that he grew up in.
Good for him.
He was a young brother in his 20s, and so yeah, obviously you don't have a crystal ball. We don't know, but I should have had stock in games.
By playing lottery, you hit it, and he hit it.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were paying off their student loans, and then giving it to charity, to charities. Like they really, put their money, to use.
And of course, the other news of the week, which the four of you know, but B doesn't know, Dr. Marshall got his first COVID vaccine injection yesterday.
That's big.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm in the demographic. Well, I'm way over the demographic, but they were like, "Are you sure? Are you sure? You can I see?" Yeah. But on the heels of our show last week with Dr. Andre Campbell telling everybody it's safe, and I've been in,
They thought you were only 35, huh? I was like, "What? You must be in the wrong line, sir. Are you lost?"
It was a thing. It was like I said, I told a couple of you, it was a piece of cake. Didn't even feel it really going in, and the only side effect I have had has been, a sore shoulder, or the short muscle, much like a flu shot, not as bad as shingles, and I think that's it. I mean, that's it. I was tired yesterday, but that was my workout day, so I might have been tired anyway. So I don't know if I can separate the two, but. It was cool. It was cool, man. I just felt so good to get it done. And I texted Dr. Campbell. He said, good for you. I said, all I need. But I'm going to tell you, the operation I went to was out of City College of San Francisco, the parking lot. And you talk about first class. That thing, it was drive-through vaccinations. They gave me the shot in my car.
Wow.
Instead of getting food from Jack in the Box, which, some people do, right? Drive through a Wendy's, I got my vaccination. I rolled in, sat in the car, filled out some papers, got up there, lady in front of the car did a little dance, distract me, boom. I said, you finished? She said, yeah. So, but the
congratulations, Doc.
Was so first class. I mean, and after I'd done it, they made you sit for 15 minutes and, just want to make sure you're cool. I got the Moderna, by the way. And, I just felt a lot of admiration and a lot of high regard for all of those workers out there, just making sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the ones taking the test, doing the vaccine.
Well, just the volunteers, that part, absolutely. But just the volunteers in the lines, making sure everybody, the checkpoints and going through everything, wheeling people into the parking lot. And I mean, it was, man, it was incredible. Before, by the way, and Mr. Selma says, I had gotten a call and they were doing vaccinations at Allen Temple in Oakland, and the call was no appointment was necessary, right? For the demographic once again, right? So I jetted in my car, went over there, and they actually ran out of vaccine. But it was again, just feeling good, a wonderful sight to see all those elders being vaccinated. Really, I mean, it's just beautiful to see. People were helping them; they're all in line, you know, and it was. So,
Since you mentioned your age, I just a little story for the ladies. You know, Doc has always looked young for his age, and when he used to come pick me up from high school, people actually used to think he was a lost student on campus. I'll be like, "That's my dad. Stop. He don't look that young, you know." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you know how Doc is. Oh no, you know I could play who." I'm like, "Stop." And then you don't know how many times this happened. Some girl comes to the house, I bring some girl home to the house. "Oh, your dad is so cute." I'm just like, you have no idea how many times I've heard that. So yeah.
So Doc, do you have to get a second shot?
Yeah, 3 or 4 weeks. You know, 3 to 4 weeks. They'll call me back, and I get the second shot, and then you know.
And did you specify which? You said you got the Moderna.
Yeah.
Do you go up and roll down the window like, "Hey, give me that Moderna"? You know, or is it just they just give you what they give you?
I didn't know that until they gave me a card. I didn't know that actually until they gave me a card afterwards that listed, you know, the fact that it had the vaccine. You know, it's a verification card basically. Okay. Yeah, I actually took a picture of it. It's on my phone, and I also have the card to let you know that you got the first and what you got, and you know they'll do the same thing. You bring the card back, and they'll do it on the second one. So, yeah, it is really a good feeling. I just want to say that. I mean, none of you had it yet. I can't wait for you to have this feeling that you're on your way to being vaccinated against this horrible virus. So, yeah.
A couple hours after I heard from you and I felt your good feeling, and let me say, my mother's had it, and I know a few people who've had the first shot. It was 2 hours went by, and I heard the story about the congressman, I think it's from Massachusetts, who has had both shots and tested positive.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means. I don't think anybody knows what it means. I guess it just means keep wearing your mask.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that's a trend that's going to happen with most people. It just that particular case has come up, and it just means we're all still vulnerable. And now they're saying wear 2 masks. So so don't let your guard down.
Right.
No.
I know you won't, but
no. It's a long-term battle. It's good. It really is. I mean, the mutations are coming, like Dr. Campbell said, the mutations are coming, and we just got to learn to fight this thing and keep moving forward. It is good news, however, that things are opening up. Outdoor dining is open.
Oh, man. That felt good this weekend, didn't it?
Yeah, I got your text. You was with the kids.
The kids, we went out. We was in Albany on Solano Ave. People was out. Like you would have thought it was Europe. Everybody was out on the sidewalk. It was like I was back in Paris again. It was nice. We, spread apart, of course, but it had been a minute since we've been able to eat outside, and you could feel how bad people were just needed a little something.
But that's progress. That's progress. But like I say, don't let your guard down. Don't let your guard down.
And the nail shop open, so I was the first one in there. It had been 2.5 months since pedicure, and let me tell you, y'all. You don't want to, it ain't a nice sight. So I called her up and she was like, "We've been expecting you." I was right there on the first day.
We've got your seat ready.
Yes. What else opened? I know hair salons. Anybody get their hair done? Anything like that? Did you go anywhere? Anybody? Not yet. No outdoor dining?
Mm-mm.
I'm a little too nervous still, like even before that was too nerve-wracking. So I think, just, step by step.
Mm-hmm.
Step by step.
So I have a question for you. Do you know an HR person? Anybody really good?
What do you mean? You got
Well,
David Brown. Isn't he an HR person?
no, David Brown. David's a
I
accountant.
know he does that, but doesn't he know HR as well?
Oh no, I'm looking for a human resources person, someone who's at work, and when things come up, I need them. I need to send them to the Congress, because the House of Representatives is going through all kinds of stuff. They got people cussing each other out, pulling guns on people, threatening people, and
pulling guns on people. Oh, I know they were trying to bring in guns. I know that. Right. I didn't know someone pulled a gun.
No, they're trying to bring in guns, but the point is, in any business, HR would come in and fire half the people, right? Logic. I mean, look, we all work together, right? I mean, if I did this to you or you did this to me and so forth, you wouldn't even, it would be over.
Well, yeah, the only thing is HR is all the people that voted for them. That's the problem. That's the problem. And we don't get a chance to be HR again for another few years, unless it's, a recall, something like that.
Astounding what's going on. And that one woman had to be moved, the sister wanted to be moved away from that, kind of call her wacko, the wacko and Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I'm there. She's been there 15 minutes and already she's roughshotting people.
I mean,
well, the Black woman.
Yes, it's just incredible. I mean,
I like that sister too. Was she from New Jersey or
Missouri?
No. The one who she had to move away from her.
I don't know where she's from.
Cori Bush
from Missouri.
Oh, she's Missouri? I didn't know that. Okay. I thought it was somewhere. I thought it was New Jersey, but I really like her. I listened to her on the floor, and she was impressive. The other one was not that impressive.
I've never understood. Well, I kind of understand the things that they allow there. I mean, that they wouldn't allow anywhere in any business environment, in any work environment. So yeah,
they allowed Donald Trump for 4 years. So
that's right. That absolutely.
I was biting my tongue. Did you notice?
Yeah.
I'm being nice.
Oh, all right.
The one that, since I'm going to step to the side, who was it that said that AOC needs to apologize to Cruz?
Some Fox News reporter. That's what I saw. I don't know who it was. Yeah, and I've seen the guy before, but I look at
right. So, given all the things that they say and do, and now somebody needs to apologize to them because somebody said this is what you tried to do. I'm stating a fact. You talking crap. I'm supposed to apologize for the fact while you what? My apology comes after yours.
I can't explain it. That's what it is.
I know you can't explain it, baby.
Only
Nobody can.
Only in America. Black Lives Matter has been nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Now that's pretty wonderful.
Well, wait a minute. Who gets the prize?
That's going completely the other way.
Now that's
Black Lives Matter, the organization.
Mm-hmm.
It just said Black Lives Matter.
Do we all get the prize? Or,
I don't know if it's.
I'm like Mr. Mitra. I want my plaque too. You know what I'm saying? I want my Emmy on that. But no, they probably mean the organization.
Yes.
I don't know if it's the organization or the movement or just I don't know, because then they got to give it to somebody, right? But they've been nominated. That one, somebody in Europe, one of the countries in Europe, because anybody can nominate anybody really. So, and but they said the social justice movement, Black Lives Matter, is not only it's shaking up America, but shaking up the world. And they were nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. So we'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, that's all right. Say something quick about the passing of Cicely Tyson.
Oh, the queen.
Yeah.
Phenomenal woman.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, I actually, if I get some time this week, I want to go back and watch her catalog of movies. Doc and Lady Estelle, if you have a recommendation for me, give it to me or text me. Because I haven't seen all of her movies. I know her in a few. And in fact, this morning I remembered her. I remembered her with Richard Pryor. I think it's in Is it Bustin' Loose? I can't remember which Richard Pryor movie is, but she came to my mind of her with Richard Pryor. And then I remember, she was still acting as she got older. She didn't really stop.
No.
So I know her for some current movies, but I don't know, the older ones. So if you have one I should watch, let me know.
Okay.
I think the current one was A Fall from Grace, that Tyler Perry movie on Netflix.
Well, is she in Diary of a Mad Black Woman?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know her from that one.
Whenever a black artist or actor like passes, it feels like losing a family member. So, it's sad, but I mean, we gained another ancestor. That's how I look at it. So,
who will always be here with us.
Mm-hmm.
Very well said. I remember her. Because this is the first time I really saw her in extent, was the autograph was Miss Jane Pittman, when she aged to play a woman up to 103 years old.
Wow.
I remember seeing that and it's like, wow, wow, she's amazing. And there were plenty of roles that she wouldn't take. That was the other thing about her. She was not going to take any of the, what she considered were not roles that were beneath the dignity of Black women. She just wouldn't take them. And she could have had a lot more roles had she done that, but she just said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not playing those stereotypical roles that were being offered. And her holding out led to, other Black actors and actresses in particular getting better roles. So she's like the queen,
Autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman, 1974. Yeah, I'll have to watch that one. I was just a little thing at that time. Sounder is the one I keep hearing about. I haven't seen that. Okay.
Yes.
In one of her interviews, she shared how someone told her she needed to get her teeth fixed because she had the overbite. And she said, no, I like the way I look.
That was the Gail interview, right?
I mean,
I think so.
but Lady Estelle, think of
like,
how powerful of a statement that is in itself.
Oh my goodness!
I like the way I look. Okay, next.
Right.
I mean, how many people can actually say that?
No other conversation. No, because no, I like the way I look. Period. I know that.
We had Clarence Jones with the kids last Tuesday, Malcolm, and Dr. King's attorney, and they asked him basically how could he, face what he was doing every day, threats of, and intimidation and all that those white Southerners were doing to him, and didn't get him down. He said, well, I get up every morning and look in the mirror and said, you are beautiful.
I know. I love when he says that.
You are beautiful. You are beautiful. No one beautiful than you. And he's 90 years old, and he just said it. And he might as well be saying, I'm still beautiful, right? And that's what Cicely was saying. I'm fine. I don't need that.
She did not let her age define her. And that's something that we should always look forward to. 96 years, that's a long time. That's a lot of wisdom.
I'm looking at her list of films real quick. I forgot she plays a part in Idlewild in the Outcast movie, and then the one, Doc, we just watched it a couple of weeks ago, the Walter Mosley HBO movie, Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned. She's in that.
Yep, she was in that.
She's in Hoodlum, which is another Lawrence Fishburne movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
And no, it wasn't her.
The Women of Brewster Place. I remember that one. I actually do remember that one. So yeah, she's and she's in Roots. I forgot that too.
Absolutely.
She was in Help too with Viola Davis.
She gave birth right at the beginning of Roots.
Yeah, absolutely. She is in The Help. You're right.
Pick it up. And I like that, B. I like that, B. She is with the ancestors. She will be with us forever. All right. We're going to get to our story for tonight. I'll read the headline. San Francisco's elite Lowell High School reeling from slurs, pornography during anti-racism lesson. This is, so we're going to find out what's going on. I believe it's from the San Francisco Chronicle. We got some people coming to find out what's going on at San Francisco's #1 high school. Yeah, so I'll get them in, Ann, and you
Right, I'm going to take you to Carlos, who's going to share some poetry with us.
We got close.
What's going on, family? So I'm gonna do something new. All right. I never knew how invisible the color black was till it came in the form of a woman. Most disrespected being, they call her the B word because they couldn't accept her as human. But the black woman is God. Empress, you emit so much light, no wonder you attract mosquitoes. America has been sucking from your bosom since the beginning, plundering your body of its essence and greatness in hopes of devaluing you. And in return, give you bumps in your roads, itching to only allow you to scratch the surface of your progression. So you were born into a world that tells you your bodies aren't your own. And every day is a constant fight for you to get it back. Viewed as a caricature, someone that's always trying to surrogate your narrative, forcing you to write life back into your own life for you to have a voice. And yet they still refuse to hear you. So they put you in the bass. So you put the bass in your hips and vibrate so they can feel you. But America doesn't comprehend your language, leaving you unfilled while they fill you up. See, black women, you have been tortured and tormented by the lack of our presence. We have sacrificed your sanctity for a nice rap beat, taken for granted your natural nurturing ways, won the election of our erections, but never awarded the proper service of protection. Black women, I'm sorry. Your love for us always leads us to degrade you. We are guilty of viewing you filthy. You've always been the front line and the back end to our struggles. Always prayed for us, only to be thanked by getting preyed on. Forced to squeeze emotion from stones. They try to control you in between the sheets. See, we are the products of you, but we only seem to divide your legs to learn your answers. Bad math. Black women, you have always been known to carry the world so the black man wouldn't have to shoulder it. Seek validation from the very man that constantly violates your boundaries. You come from the same tree, but we critique your roots. You learn to sever the ties because the pain cuts. Humanity comes from a black woman, indelible queen. Black boy joy is a continent of love in the black girl's world. Black women are lemonade. Everyone knows the ingredients, but never the measurements. You have the power to soothe the pain of grown men with just your voice. Your soul is full of trauma, but still bears the most beautiful smile. Atheists stand baffled in the presence of a black woman because there is heaven in her smile. Black women are strong because they watch their sons die and not rise on the third day. See, I pray that this poem feeds you things other than sorrow, hurt, and pain. You're essentially essential. And I apologize. Sometimes we forget superheroes need saving too. Hey.
Oh, that's nice.
It's Carlos Smith. That's Carlos Smith. And you know let's dedicate that to Cicely Tyson. How's that? That's perfect. Let's dedicate that to Cicely Tyson.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before we get into it, I got to do this. Black History Month is coming up. This is the book. This is the book. I've been sending this to everyone and everybody. You know, I mean, you can read it what you want. However, I am hardly. Oh, look at that! Go ahead, Diane. I need somebody to talk about it. I'm seriously. So, like, if you read something and you need to talk about it, okay, call me because we need to talk. It is called "Caste: The Origins of Our Discontent" by Isabel Wilkerson. Many of you out there have read her first book, "The Warmth of Other Suns," which, Mr. Shit, that's a heavy book. Oh, it's beyond heavy. If you want, I would just say this. If you want to know what America really is, read this book. It's that simple. It's right here. If you've been searching for 400 years, however long, it's all right here. And, I've never done a book club, but I would do a book club for this book. I really, really would. Okay. You see who is here with us to talk about what is going on at Lowell High School, we have, and they can wave their hand when I say their names, Diane Gray. Diane Gray's that's my little sister. Okay, Tachelle Herron. I adopted her. Tachelle. Okay, Sadie Grice. Hello, Soror. What? Am I supposed to say that? Okay. Okay. All right. Shavonne Hines-Foster. How come I can say that?
No. I said that.
Tsia Blacksher. I see you. And Gabrielle Grace. All right.
Hey,
here we go. We're going to jump into this, talk about what's going on at Lowell. I'll start with the article. And look, I know just about all of you have been involved in this for a minute, but I'm assuming nobody knows what we're talking about. So we're going to go back to the beginning. This article is January 22nd, 2021. The headline was San Francisco's elite Lowell High School reeling from slurs, pornography during anti-racism lesson. And I'll just read from the article, a lesson on anti-racism at San Francisco's academically elite Lowell High School turned hateful and obscene Wednesday with public posts spewing derogatory anti-Semitic comments and messages about Black people. District officials said they were investigating the incident. Several students of color said that given the ongoing racism they experienced at the school, they believe their peers get behind the attack. This is Lowell behavior, said one student. Let's see. After a lesson, students were asked to share anonymous thoughts and ideas about the information, which were then posted by an adult moderator onto, is that Padlet? I don't know these things, an online bulletin board program. But instead of posting thoughtful messages as instructed, some messages not approved by the instructor included pornographic images, anti-Black and anti-Semitic slurs, and hateful comments, officials and students said. One message also attacked President Biden using a racial epithet and an anti-Semitic word saying he should die. Into that, just telling people that F him and F you, it said. Right. These actions, let's see, let me keep going here. Lowell is one of the top performing public high schools in the country with an academically competitive admission process. More than 68% of the 2,900 students are either Asian American or white, a disproportionate number compared to district-wide enrollment, while less than 2% are African American and 12% are Hispanic or Latino. Okay, a petition started on Thursday by a Lowell math teacher and Black Student Union co-advisor. Elizabeth Statmore called for a federal investigation into the matter. All right, that's where the article starts, and it has some things about what's been done since that. But who we have here tonight, and I wanted to do this specifically. We have students at the school, we have former students at the school, and we have alumni, and we have Tachelle because she wanted to be here. And she's just active everywhere. So I'm not sure where to start here. Let's start with you, Shavonne, because you are on the school board. You are also, are you the president of the BSU at the school? Yeah, you just everything. Okay, and you're the president of the Black Student Union. So you're dealing with it from the school level, and you're dealing with it from the Board of Education level. When did you first find out about this?
I got a question.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Only because I was out, and forgive me, I'm late. But we've heard from the young people. We know, and you just said all the information about Shavonne, but we know Tsia. Say your name for me, baby.
You got it right, Tsia.
I said it right, Tsia. And Gabrielle, we know that did they tell us if they go to Lowell? Did they say their grade level? Did they say?
Well, they were, but.
Oh, they haven't said that yet.
Got to them, but I'll tell you. Tsia is a former student. Gabrielle is a student, since you want to know who everybody is. Okay. Diane is an alumni, and Sadie is.
Diane's. I'm Dr. Gray's an alumni. I know. I just didn't know if the young people said it. Okay.
They did.
Okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Shavonne. When did you first find out about this?
So how I was informed about this was the pictures were posted to Padlet and they were sent to the BSU group chat. So about 20 Black kids saw it all at the same time. The student was basically saying that she had contacted administration and her reg teacher about this, but nothing was really happening. So she sent it to the BSU group chat. So that's how we all found out about it.
Okay. And we're going to come back to what's happened since then, but let's go to Tsia, because apparently this is a new stuff, right? This is a new stuff. And a few years ago, you were the, I believe, president of the BSU, right? And were you surprised it just happened again?
To be honest, I was not. I think like most of us, we kind of saw this coming just from the initial reaction we got from the administration and the school board in the 2016 incident. There were a lot of false promises. There were a lot of things that they, said they were going to do and complete, and they did not. So to my personal opinion is that no, it was not surprising.
So take us back a few years. What happened back in 2016? I saw that, but I wasn't going, they just wanted to get in on our show. I understand. Street Soldiers is big with everybody. even animals love Street Soldiers. And, they found out she was on, so they got to be there. And I don't know when Tsia's coming back. So, oh, there she is.
All right. I'm so sorry about that.
Oh, no.
You're
living at home. You're not in the studio or anything.
Right.
So take us back to 2016 when you were, let's talk about that and your response then. What was going on then?
Okay, so in 2016, I was the president of BSU. I was a junior. Basically, it was Black History Month, and a student who does not identify as African American decided to post a tribute to Black History Month on a window that's kind of public to all students. In all, it was just very offensive. I can't really say much about it other than, other than that. It was basically a picture of him and his friends in like a Halloween costume. It was a screenshot of like the movie Friday. It was a photoshopped image of Barack Obama. Like it had nothing to do with Black History Month, pretty much, which was expected. Sorry, it's just
expected.
Sorry. Yeah.
Expected?
Yeah, exactly. And basically, we were practicing for a BSU assembly that we had coming up because of Black History Month. And we all saw it at the same time. So we saw it after school. We decided then as a club that the next day we were going to report it to the administration, that it wasn't okay. And when we did, they didn't do anything about it. The assistant principal and principal at the time just told us to kind of forget about it and that they'll deal with it, but we didn't see any of that happening. So we decided to take matters into our own hands, and we posted it all over Facebook, all over Twitter, all over Instagram, and that's when administration decided to do something about it. So then they called us all in and said that they were going to have disciplinary actions for the student. And as like a kind of Band-Aid, I guess he was expelled from the school, but that doesn't deal with the institutional racism that Lowell has been experiencing for decades. So to us, it was like, okay, but we want more. And, we went to all the board meetings, we spoke to all the CBOs, we spoke to all the administrators, and as you can tell, nothing has really changed.
This is a rerun.
Right, exactly.
Unfortunately.
Right. I mean, not even a rerun. I honestly, I don't want to say which is worse, but what Shavonne and this BSU is going through is 10 times worse than what we went through. So it's just like, it's not even a pattern. It's that things are getting worse. Things are getting progressively worse, which is a problem.
When you don't deal with a sore, it will get worse. And Diane, you're an alumni of Lowell, and has this been going on a while, in your opinion?
It has. I'm a native San Franciscan, attended all public schools, including Lowell High School, and graduated from San Francisco State. And my dad and I had conversations about Lowell prior to me going to Lowell. So I started Lowell at age 14. And, you
want to say, I know you don't want to date yourself, but can you just say the year, if you can, just to know how long?
Yeah, a class of 78.
All right, that helps. Yeah.
So the late 70s. And so I had would have these conversations with my dad about, I just didn't understand why was there a Lowell. I knew his plan for me and my brother were to go on to college, and that's what he said. He was like, this school is going to prepare you like no other public school in San Francisco. Well, I had friends that attended school across town. As I got like my junior year in high school, they wanted to attend college, but they were not being at least counseled to take the correct courses. It wasn't a part of their requirements. And at Lowell, their requirements were set up in a way that they expected everyone to either get into Stanford or get into UC Berkeley. Those were the standards, but that it was not the standard at every high school. Matter of fact, those requirements didn't become a policy for all other high schools until 2008, and it affected the class of 2014. So I was getting a very different education than my friends. We all lived in the same neighborhood, and they went to Galileo. They ended up at college too, but they were not prepared for college like I was prepared for college. And so therein lies all of that. Then we get to, the microaggressions that I experienced. There were more African-American students at Lowell when I was there. So by us being larger in numbers, some brothers will jack you up. Don't think that, but there were still these microaggressions, even from teachers. I remember one of my friends was in a Spanish literature class and was accused of cheating. And they could not even prove it. They just, she does so well, and she had done so well on her exams. They tried not to give her an A in the class, and it was based on nothing except the fact we all felt at the time that she was an African-American student. We kept hearing these things over and over again, where you had to go and take a test again because they didn't believe that you had scored that high, even though all of us were there because of good grades and all this other stuff. It was still it was microaggression from students, not wanting to have us as part of their study groups. It was just a lot of that. And I don't remember like anything huge like what was experienced in 2016 or today. And by the way, I was there side by side with Tsia and those students. Actually, I have pictures as well that I just discovered I had forgotten that I had taken from 2016. And I mean, I'm standing there on the sidewalk with them and tears just start flowing. I had to like walk down the block a little way and collect myself and then walk back because it was just, and so, what I want to say is that there's still no policy in place, for when these things happen. It's a culture that needs to be changed at Lowell, and it has been consistent. In the early 70s, there was a big protest. There were even articles around what students were experiencing at Lowell. And so, I saw this quote the other day: understanding is not a prescription. Because that's what they keep saying. We understand what you're going through. We're going to talk to the student and they're going to write a paper about it. All of that kind of stuff. Understanding is not a prescription. And so there needs to be something that is done right away. And like Shavonne had been saying over and over again, and even Tsia, they keep sweeping things under the rug, you know, because Lowell, one of the top 100 high schools in the nation. Oh, we don't want to stain, you know, on our record. But here we are, and no one is caring about these young people, these students. And that's at the bottom line. At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Where the micro has become macro.
Yes,
They're definitely not micro.
That's what happens when micro isn't dealt with and it becomes macro.
Right.
Yes.
So let's talk to mom and daughter here. And I've been in an environment like this. I mean, it wasn't public high school, but I've been in, you know, Catholic institutions where it was just me against the world, you know. And, you know, I'm a BSU guy too, because, you know, went to USF and founded a BSU with my students. So that's how we banded together to fight the stuff that was happening to us. But Tsia and Gabrielle, just talk about, first, Mom, why did you send her there? And what were you hope to getting? And what's, because she's a junior, right?
No, she's a sophomore. And thank you so much for having us. Gabrielle is a sophomore, and I also have a freshman, Ari, who attends the school. And I will add that my husband is one of the 3 Black educators at the school. He teaches math, Mr. Grice. Yeah.
There's every reason to send them there.
They earned their way into Lowell, and again, the accolades. It's such a distinguished school. The top 10, #1 in the city, top in the nation. I was super excited. I'm like, this is where you're going. Woohoo! Can't wait. My husband, he saw the rigor of the students and the atmosphere and how everybody was hardworking. He was like, babe, this is the place for the girls. To be honest, she'll tell you it was not on our list of schools we were going to apply to. And once I did some homework and I found out, all of the accolades of the school and their ranking and rating and alumni, and I was like, this is where you're headed. So that was how we made the decision. I will say in that she has found family in BSU. So Shavonne, we love you over here. They're really tight-knit group, and I applaud the students for speaking their voice, and particularly for this matter. I'm just livid. I'm livid, and the administration is lackluster. The current administrator has been there for decades. So in my opinion, you're part of that ingrained culture. Mm-hmm. You've had decades as a teacher, as a vice principal, and as a principal to enact some change and do some cultural change. Nothing's happening.
So Gabrielle, Tsia, and Shavonne, just talk about, we'll start with you, Gabrielle. What's it like being there? What's it like being there?
Okay, so Lowell isn't necessarily a welcoming environment towards students of color. You're automatically—
Oh, you said that so nicely. Oh my God, this isn't necessarily a welcoming environment. Girl, you good.
You are immediately met with many microaggressions and stereotypes are automatically put on you. In the classroom, you don't get a lot of help from your peers because they think you might try to cheat off of them, or you're just asking clarification on a question during group work. A lot of people hold you to another standard. I know personally, in a Spanish project, one of my group members was like, Gabby, you better do your work, or do your work, stay on task, things like that, when I'm doing my work just like everyone else there. There are many stereotypes about Black people that are very much there, and the students at Lowell, a lot of them are very supportive of Black students at Lowell, but there are those students that are blatantly racist, and overall Lowell wasn't very welcoming to me or many of my peers.
Tsia, what was it like for you?
Thank you, Gabby.
I had similar experiences. I think the only main difference is that during my time there, we didn't have a lot of student support, like in terms of um, how many students there were when the incident did take place. A lot of his friends kind of like, stood up for him. So there's definitely a divide in terms of like who thought that we were, doing too much or who was supportive of us. But majority of the school definitely was not. A lot of the parents, a lot of the staff members were also not in support. They definitely did not see the issue from our point of view. Well, they didn't see a lot of things from our point of view, which is why we're in this situation. But even if we were to kind of eliminate the racial aspect of like what students go through, just the overall environment of Lowell is unhealthy for any student. It's just the amount, the workload, the stress that are placed on students is ridiculous. There's issues of depression, anxiety, self-harm, suicide. Like there's just a whole bunch of things that you have to deal with, going to Lowell, and not even necessarily if you're dealing with it yourself, like even just witnessing it and having your friends go through it, it's very toxic for everyone.
And now you're saying that's in addition to the overt and covert racism.
Exactly. So imagine being a Black student at Lowell, where you not only do you have to deal with the racism, you have to deal with the heavy workload, you have to deal with trying to keep up to this reputation of what it's meant to be a Lowell student. It's just a lot of pressure to put on a teenager, to put on somebody who's, trying to figure out life for themselves. They're already having these assumptions and stereotypes placed on them by adults mostly. A lot of professors aren't supportive, the counselors aren't supportive. It's not a healthy environment for a kid at all.
And in addition to that, you've got your peers, like Gabby said, that will check and say, make sure you do your work. Really? Okay. I'm just trying to be clear. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like group being, trying to do group projects in that environment is hard. I remember I took a history class, I think my freshman year, and we were like role playing, I guess. And of course I had to play the role of the slave girl. Like we all had roles, and the teacher didn't see anything wrong with that. It was a script and everything. And I'm very uncomfortable in this situation, but it's like, if I don't conform, then I'm failing. And if I'm failing, I'm fitting this stereotype of whatever they already think of me. So
wait, like, see, you had to play the role of the slave girl?
I did. Yes. There was
and that's my problem. The fact that you had to.
Yeah.
And the fact that the teacher said that's what they expected.
Yeah. It was randomly assigned.
Random?
Had to present in front of the entire class. Yes.
Random.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, honey. Shavonne, you're a senior now. What's it been like for you? Look at her eyes.
Slave girl blew my mind. I was like, hell no. I really only applied to Lowell because of my friends. I went to a predominantly Asian middle school. I went to Aptis. So I had a lot of friends who were applying to Lowell. My mom went to Lincoln. So, I was, wearing my Lincoln sweater in like, 8th grade, I'm about to go to Lincoln. And my friends were like, Shavonne, what about Lowell? We can all be together, 4 years. So my middle school environment was way different than what I have here now. So I kind of went in with my friends from Aptis, stayed pretty close, still talk to them now. But I think far as the school, I don't think there was a lot of stuff open to us, I say. Me personally, when I became BSU president, I definitely changed that. More we did this year, we did a welcoming ceremony for students, underrepresented students. So like Filipino American Club, Polynesian Club, La Raza, we all did a freshman orientation for students. At my freshman orientation, I could barely find BSU. So I don't think we're always given the resources to be presented. Most of the time, um, it's changed now, but our student government had a lot of bias towards the clubs. Um, BSU was often put in the back of, like, club sales, club fairs, and those are the events where you get money for your club, you show your club. So often as a freshman at club fair, it was really hard for me to find BSU, but I eventually found it. Yeah, as far as students, you rarely found a student who was really open to, being having you in their group. I really struggled to open up to people because of a lot of the stuff I faced. I know my first week of freshman year, I want to say maybe around like rally time, I was working on a project with the art committee, and the kid was like, N-word, N-word, N-word. And I was like, what's up with that? And he was like, I didn't even see you there, Nigger. And then, when I reported to administration, he had to write an essay. So they're very keen with essays. So after that, I was more of like, I'm very social. Very social as, young child, middle school, talk to people from all different backgrounds. I kind of had to, build this wall up that I couldn't, really talk or socialize with everyone because of the biases they have. I think maybe like the first time I was invited into a group was by this Asian boy. His name is Micah, and we have class together now. He was like, yeah, Shavonne, I can't even lie. You changed my perspective. The way he grew up in his house, his parents were teaching him, Black people don't achieve at the same level as we do, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, Shavonne, when we had world history together, I saw your presentation, your presentation was well. And you kind of, debunked the stuff that I was being taught at home, and after working with you on that project, that really broke that stereotype that was being reinforced at home. So oftentimes they come from this home where a lot of these stereotypes are enforced and the school doesn't debunk it. So often it's carried on throughout the years.
Tachelle, you've been listening to all this. Just say what you want to say and
Okay.
talk about the work that you do, because you work with young people all over the city. But just your thoughts and feelings about hearing all of this.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk directly to the elephant in the room. So if there's any elephants, listen to me. Lowell was founded in 1856. It's the oldest public school west of the Mississippi. It prohibits enrolling students who look like me, think like me, and breathe the same air as me based on merit. That is against the California Educational Code. Shall I give you the numbers? The numbers are 35160-5. They can't do that. So I'm not worried about this racism and this platform and all that stuff. They are breaking the law at a public high school in San Francisco, California. My state secretary is not going to like this. Next, Mr. Elephant. The national, come on now, Dr. Flowers is coming out me. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in 1978 filed a lawsuit based on this, the racial discrimination practices.
Consent decree.
It is 2021, and it's still happening. How do I know? Because I am a Black educator. I ain't no teacher. A teacher does not re-educate themselves and go to diversity standard training. What is it called? Shavonne, help me with the word. Let me see.
Anti-racism, implicit bias, what?
Thank you. There's Prop A's. I went to more Prop A's because I didn't know how to teach children in my own community, or children who went to Lincoln who were between the lines or on the fence about their sexuality. So I have 90 hours of LGBTQIA just so I could be a Black teacher in Bayview Hunters Point and save lives. These teachers are not going to their training. They are breaking the law. And if the board of San Francisco want to ignore it, then hey, I'll go straight to the CTC. You have to take tests. You have to take blood tests, TB tests, live scans to be a teacher. And when you don't do these things, you get your license yanked. Yeah, they want to know why it's not a lot of Black educators, because you jump through 15 loops to get to where these teachers are sitting so comfortable in an old ass school, excuse me, elders, and you are being blatant racist.
You can't blame nobody, Tachelle, so this
I'm talking to the elephant, Dr. Marshall. When Tsia called me on my cell phone crying, telling me that she's gonna walk out of class and the rest of the schools is gonna follow her, I told her, do it. Do it. She's not scared. She's a Blacksher. Shavonne is a senior in school. She should be focused on college, not about checking people at board meetings who wear church clothes all day and tap shoes. She should be getting a quality education. I don't know what's going on behind the doors of Lowell, but when I walk through with my purple on and my purple lipstick, I don't see Black kids in Lowell. I do not. I have to go to the ROTC to find Sarge, to help me with AJ, to find the Black kids, because I can't find them. Then when I find them, can I go with you? Where you going? Can you stay? I want to stay, but I got to go back to work. I'll see you when you get to 100%. I've had so many Lowell alumni come to 100% broken. My best one is Victoria Bryant. She's the top of the game, first Lowell graduate generation, first college student, but she does not have the social skills she needs to be aggressive enough to take what she wants. So she got me as a mentor, and I'm like, go get it, go get it. She got Diane, go get it, go get it. We got Tsia. She's all the way down in Spelman, killing game. Gonna be my lawyer, right, Tsia? Now I gotta send Shavonne somewhere. Where I'm gonna send Shavonne, and her name is all over the social media about racism. So once again, Mr. Elephant, you are violating the California Educational Code, and I'm coming for you. I didn't get this master's degree in equity and social justice to hang on my wall. I got it so I can chop some heads off. And if the superintendent don't want to do his job, then I'll do his job, because you are not going to be racist, openly and unapologetically Black, and have these kids crying in my after school center on my Zoom in Step to College. No, I don't think so. And let me tell y'all, they ain't that elite because they don't got college credits. Shavonne and Tsia got college credits, don't y'all? Didn't y'all graduate with college credits? Yeah. How elite can you be when you don't even have credits to get into college? Just asking. That's all I got to say to the elephant.
The elephant heard you. So obviously we got a problem, a huge problem. There's always been a problem, and it's getting worse. That's what it comes down to, and it's affecting our young people. How much do you think this has to do with what's going on in the country right now? Apparently, to me, it's open season, period. And this, what I see, mirrors everything that's been happening nationwide when it comes to the openness and aggressiveness of it. What has happened since what has happened since? Has there been school board meetings? Have there been and Shavonne, you're right in the middle of this. You can start with you. What has happened since these incidents have come to the surface?
Yeah, I can bring y'all to the timeline. So after we received the picture in our BSU group chat, me as a president, I didn't want to act immediately. I was more of waiting for the school to release a statement about it to see if they were gonna, sweep it under the rug again. So I want to say we waited until 5:21 the statement was put out, and the statement was a paragraph like, we don't know who this is. We think this is a hacker. Like, it was very, disassociating themselves from the situation, like saying, this couldn't possibly be a Lowell student, but this is Lowell behavior. So after that, I want to say maybe like a couple hours later that night, I was thinking, what can we do? What can we do? Texting the officers group chat. And I was like, okay, let's do an email template. I talked to my friend who I wrote email templates with around sexual assault. Justine, and I was like, okay, hop on this Zoom call. I called the other student delegate and I was like, okay, hop on this Zoom call. I called the officers and I was like, hop on this Zoom call. Let's do this email template and let's send it out. Hella people are going to support it, and we're going to get it done. So we hopped on the Zoom call, got it done, started launching it. A lot of people supported it. A lot of people were sharing and reposting it. Students were more receptive to it. I think the culture has definitely changed from where it was to 2016. A lot of people are still, not open to it, but I think more students are, supportive. They're very aware now, more than they were when I was there. I know, not when I was there, I'm already ready to graduate. But like when I was a freshman, it was something that was never really done, like activism around race. So I think that's how I kind of came on the scene. So a lot of people supported it, but we did kind of hit a roadblock with our sponsor. Dr. Marshall touched on that a little bit. The petition that was created by so-and-so Statmore, right? It was actually a petition that was not sponsored by the BSU. She did it on her own and didn't consult us, but she had BSU co-advisor title on it. And she was basically playing into this hacker narrative.
You're talking about Virginia Marshall, right?
No.
Oh. Ooh.
No, not Miss Marshall.
No, all right, let me take that back. Let me keep talking. Forget I said that.
Yeah, yeah. Whoa, Miss Marshall finna be like, woo. Yeah, so our ex-sponsor, we had to kick her to the curb, but our ex-sponsor, she's a math teacher. So she basically put out this petition saying, FBI needs to come in and investigate this, blah, blah, blah. It's a hacker, XYZ. But we was telling her, we know this is not a hacker. Like this is something that happens. Administration also sweeps something under the rug. I was talking to my history teacher and he was like, the same thing happened on his Kahoot thing. Some students came on his Kahoot and was writing racist stuff. And when he went to administration about it, they were telling him, why didn't you put more security, blah, blah, blah. But it's kind of like, the security isn't something he could do himself. It's like one of those apps, like an app. So he doesn't control the security. So they were kind of blaming it on him, but he was like, hey, racism, it's on the Kahoot, so that happened and that was swept under the rug. So there's been instances where we had issues with racism and cybersecurity on, educational platforms, but they sweep it under the rug. But when it comes up again, they're kind of like, oh, I can't believe that happened. So we waited a few days, I want to say after, maybe I want to say like 2 days, 3 days. And the principal put out a video statement. Very bad, very, very, very bad video.
How bad is bad?
I got it. Y'all got to put it on the Facebook page. It was like this. We are committed to fighting racism. And we're going to work with our cultural clubs, BSU, and our other cultural clubs. And we're going to do it. We're going to, yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Oh, and then, adding the tears. Hi. So yeah, it was very like, I'm looking at the video and I'm like,
I think, what I think about, I think all of these people, I don't care if it's from the White House down, they have a script, they use the same script.
Yes, it was a script.
Exactly. They may tweak it depending on where they are.
Yeah, it was a script.
Same script with all of it.
And it was so bad because she kept on looking up and down, and I was like, okay, come on now. Y'all could have at least gave her some cue cards. Like, come on now. If y'all wanted to make it believable, at least put some cue cards. Like, please do us that justice at least. So, you can go, Miss Grace.
Go ahead. You want to say something?
No, I just wanted to say, like, I don't know if you realize the incident happened on Inauguration Day, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was on Inauguration Day, right?
Wow.
You log in, the kids see this, and Gabby's ranting through the house. I'm like, what is going on? But the thing about it that Shavonne just mentioned, you get the canned statement. That's when I finally asked Gabby what happened. The statement issued about 6:30 that night. I was like, well, what exactly happened? Then from there, all the subsequent meetings, you could clearly see her lack of, I don't know, do we use the word empathy?
Engagement.
We're on a call with the NAACP.
Oh, that
Shavonne starts off she leads the discussion. Well, do you want me to answer now, or do you want me to wait until the end? So I said, well, in the chat, because I'm not going to interrupt, but who's speaking? That's our principal, one of her assistant principals. That's the principal. So I just politely put in the chat, well, a greeting and an introduction would have been nice. No common courtesy, no decency for the process, no empathy. Good evening. I'm sorry we have to be here.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think.
Where did she train it?
I don't think one time they ever apologized.
Yeah.
Like
Dr. Marshall, I want to say this. The principal was trained by Tsia's father. She understands empathy. He had all these teachers read this book called Whistling Valdez.
She do not understand.
But she's not following these things. When I say Marcus trained us, he trained us. Respect was earned in G House. This woman knows. All I needed to hear was, I'm sorry this happened to you. Her scripted line, I couldn't even sleep. I did a whole 24 like I was writing a term paper again. That was so cynical. Are you serious? Are you reading like this?
Right.
And then the board too. No one said, Shavonne, I'm sorry you had to go through this. Would you like me to send you some strawberries and banana edible arrangement? Do you need a massage? Do you need a spa day? I'm sorry you had to witness this. It was like going through Jim Crow in 2021. That's disrespectful.
But so correct.
That's the point. That's where we are. I mean, to me, this is just where we are right now. I mean, this is where we are right now. It's all been unleashed. I mean, it was there all the time, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, look, I'm 25 years I was in San Francisco public schools as a teacher and assistant principal. I know the system from the elementary school all the way up. Mrs. Tell's an educator. I guess the main thing, right, we got to figure out is, what are we going to do about it? Everything that you said about their view of Black students, and it's tougher now because, like Diane said, there were more Black students there. When there are more there, you can at least feel a little camaraderie with people. It's only 2% there now. So, I mean, it was like when I first got to USF, there was hardly nobody there. So we went and recruited students so we could fight it together. I guess the key thing is now, moving forward, how can we make some real substantive change? Because I read and you got a Black superintendent, right? I read that, we are committed to find the perpetrators and ensuring full accountability for this heinous act. Well, you got to put out a statement.
Well, one thing that the board is doing, there are 3 board members that are writing a resolution that they'll be introducing. Shavonne could probably speak more in detail about it, but they are, I guess they're reading it on Tuesday. It'll go before the full board the following Tuesday, which I believe would be the 17th, I guess, 15th, 16th would be the 16th. But this coming Tuesday, they'll be reading that I guess first read or something. I don't know what the exact process is. So there are board members that are actually working on it. I'm sure that they talk to Shavonne individually because it's kind of hard to do that publicly. But we're all talking about this culture at Lowell. I think the other thing that came out was this attack against Shavonne, a student, around enrollment for Lowell. So the enrollment for 2021-22 is going to be much different than it has been in the past, because of the pandemic and things that, you know, usually students take a test and they do an essay and all of this to get into Lowell. Those things can't happen. So now the district is saying, okay, for this particular school year, we're going to have a different enrollment process to get into Lowell. So the parents just went ballistic. So you know,
what is the lottery now that they're thinking of doing?
Well, yeah, that it's more of a lottery now. So Shavonne could probably speak more to that as well, being a student delegate on the board. But yeah, but parents attacked her, you know, because of course parents, you know, current parents at Lowell, and even some that they're trying to get their kids into Lowell were like, oh, it's gonna dumb down Lowell because the other students can now enroll into the school much easier. And so it's gonna dumb down our school, you know, because of those other students. And so they actually attacked Shavonne, you know, in public comment. These are adults. So that's the kind of culture that some of the students are coming from, right? And so, but, you know, Shavonne spoke to it, a student that she was able to change his mind. But this is what our Black students are dealing with.
Yeah, I can start off with the admissions thing. So I talked about it in Tuesday's class a little bit when I went on my education rant during family meeting. But yeah, I want to say we talked about admissions around October, November, and based on, you know, not having data because of distance learning, they decided to make it a lottery system. I kind of came from a neutral standpoint because I know a lot of students were like, you know, I worked hard, you know, my 8th grade year to get these grades. And it was also the need for, you know, change and equity. So I was like, why don't we do an essay? The essay approach didn't really work because I talked to a few district staff and they were like, you know, well, I don't know if we can make a essay work without grading based on, you know, grammar. So I don't know if we can do that. And there was also a time crunch because it was maybe like a week from the vote and everything. So we hopped on the board meeting, you know, I'm talking, I'm like, you know, stop glorifying this school because we have kids, you know, killing themselves, being called, you know, NIGGER, and also getting sexually assaulted. And the administration doesn't do anything about it. So you're sending your kids in there, but at what cost? Like, you know, you're taking a risk of them either being, you know, racially attacked, sexually assaulted, or, you know, having mental health issues that you're going to have to work very hard to overcome and deal with. So I was saying that, and these parents started unmuted. Don't make this political. Don't make this political XYZ. And I'm like, okay, how are these topics political? Like, this is the politics of law. Like, this
that's fine. That's not even political. That's fact. Okay, they're trying to kill the. You tell them the house is burning, and they be like, it's political. No, the damn house is burning. That's all you saying. You tell them what's there, what's happening, and then they attack you, the messenger, which is what they do. Which is what they do.
So they started hopping on, you know, don't make this political, XYZ. You know, later on in the night, I'm on a board meeting. I'm like, I can't believe this just happened. Then you got the parents who shouted at me, then felt bad and donated $200 to my club's fundraiser, talking about, Shavonne, I'm so sorry I acted out of character. Hopefully this helps you and your club reach your goal. We didn't already got the full goal that we reached. So the extra $200 for white guilt is totally fine. Right. Thank you. But like, what is $200 going to do? Like, okay. And I was getting death threats. You know, in my Instagram DMs, you know, so I was like, they is off the hook. And it was all around admissions. You know, you had public figures on there, you know, Phil Ting, what's the other one's name? Susie Loftus. They were on there, you know, as a public figure. I would have been,
your girl, Dr. Marshall. Susie Loftus. Is Susie Loftus your girl? Didn't she work with you on the police commission?
Yes, she did.
Oh, yeah, but they was on there. I would have tried if I was a political figure, I would have tried to stay as far as away from it because it got messy really quick. You had people who are running for Board of Ed campaigns using this to get votes. I don't think Lowell should be a lottery, XYZ. And they trying to, gain political traction, get the votes, rally the parents, I'm gonna vote for this candidate. She don't think that it should be lottery. Yep. So it was just a lot of people using stuff for gain. It was just off the hook. I can go into the
finding out very early is that adults ain't got no damn sense, but that's a whole lot. I mean, they really don't. They look. So here's the thing. Let me say this. This is real time stuff, and this is one of the reasons I brought it. This is real time. What's going on in Washington is real time. What's going on with the police is real time. What's going on in law, and it's the same stuff everywhere. I mean, it just plays out wherever you are. This is an incident. I mean, again, reading the stuff that was said, and I mean that, and our biggest concern is they will try and do. I mean, look, they're saying in Washington now, let's just put it behind us. Let's all come together. Blah 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 blah. No, and they may do that in the Senate, but we ain't doing that here. We're not doing that here, and I don't know what the plan is. I'm not involved in it like you are. Of course, I obviously support all of you in getting. You got to have real change. You got to have real change. It's got to be change. It's got to have change. You got to have change, and you're on it. Everybody else is on it. What would you like to see? Let me just ask, and you don't have to have all the answers here. What would you like to see moving forward? Each of you, you can just say, what would you like to see happen?
I'll go first, Dr. Marshall, because I need to go to bed. I would like this to happen. I want any student who is enrolled in San Francisco Unified School District who uses foul language towards another culture or writes inappropriate things while a student to be charged with a hate crime and expelled from the school.
Okay.
Because I don't understand why it can't happen. Because the F word, the N word, the MF word, all that, ask my students, we don't talk like that. We don't fight amongst each other. Remember the rules about you fighting, you go home, all that stuff? We got rid of the suspension. So now teachers don't know how to deal with the so-called bad kids. Well, there's a book. Tsia, Daddy gave it to us. It's like this thick. There's 100 ways to de-escalate a problem with a student. If you're a real educator, you should be able to do that. But if your child comes to school with this hate in their heart, expel. If you get expelled from public school, where you going? Charter? No. Private? No. Prison? Well, it's a pipeline for a reason. That's what needs to happen. Immediate expulsion. If you rape someone or sexually assault someone, same thing. You're a student from the time you leave your house till you get to school. I got expelled from Burton for having a fight on San Bruno, but I already went home and dropped my backpack off, but Ms. Howell wasn't playing that. So same rules across the whole school. Lowell is not an elite school. It's old. It needs to be torn down. It was built before enslavement was over. So how is this a standardized school? To allow this to happen, it's wrong.
I want to hear from each of you. What do you think needs to? What would you like to see happen?
I can go last. I can talk a little bit about the resolution.
Tsia, what would you like to see happen?
I want the whole school shut down. I don't think lottery system is really going to change like the kind of environment that the teachers and administration place on the students. I think it's just opening the door for more minority students to be dealing with the same type of racism. I don't think, kind of recruiting Black students to go to that school at this moment where they are not doing anything to kind of change the institutional racism is going to be helpful for anyone. It's just going to put them in harm's way. They all need to be fired. They all need to be, I don't know, but I think it's not even like a low problem. It's an SFUSD problem. Like Tachelle said, there needs to be more severe repercussions for students who engage in this type of activity. It's been too long where we've let hate crime and racism kind of go untouched because, I don't know, free speech, I don't know, but it's serious. Like, we have to deal with this. This is our lives. This is trauma. This is things that we have to go through. So it's like, if they don't want to take real repercussions, then we won't have any Black students at Lowell. We won't have any minorities at Lowell and just get it shut down. Like, I just feel like there needs to be something extreme to happen at this point, just as a, what's what I'm looking for? Like just to show other schools what will happen, just a example. Yeah. So shut it down. Fire everybody.
Diane, what would you like to see happen?
I'm in agreement with Tsia on many levels. First of all, there are less than 50 African-American students at Lowell. And there has been like no support for these students. And so, yeah, there needs to be an overhaul of the school staff. I'm gonna go out on a ledge because, listen, many of those teachers have been there for decades. And I'm not saying many of them are excellent students, if not all, excellent students in their particular subjects, but that's not being spread around our district, right? You have a group of elite students with a group of elite teachers at one school in our district. Something needs to be done about that. We need experienced, culturally competent teachers all across, our schools. And not saying that that's happening at Lowell, but there shouldn't, like I had these conversations with my dad, there should not even be a Lowell. Why is there a Lowell? All of our schools should have the same level of academic success and achievement across all schools, and there just should not, in my opinion, there should not be a Lowell High School. And yeah, and so that I just feel that we need to have schools that are doing all on the same, all giving students where they are, what they need. Yeah. And if not, if we're gonna have something like Lowell, then yeah, that culture change is gonna have to be with staff being changed from that school, no doubt.
Okay. Mom, what would you like to see happen?
I agree. We need to deconstruct the administration. Shift some of those teachers who've been there for decades. There needs to be a total overhaul and revamp of the school itself, the administration, the teachers, that ingrained culture, that's going to take a while. It starts at home, right? As well. A lot of these students bring these notions from home. I will say my daughter over the summer, her and a friend of hers started a club called PAIR. And it starts there. How many students you have in your club the other day?
We had around 20 students.
And the goal of her club is
we just want to educate people about institutionalized racism and just racism in general, things like implicit bias, microaggressions, things like that, so that they can be more alert and knowledgeable when these things happen and when they experience them, so that they can call them out and hold people accountable.
So,
one of the things that I've seen, unfortunately, and I'm even thinking about my experience, all of the work that needed to be done when I was in those situations, they always fell back on us as students, which was really sad. I mean, we might have found a couple of allies in the faculty, but again, we were trying to get grades, we were trying to do this, we were trying to do that, we were trying to do, we had to do all the work. That's really too much. And we didn't mind doing it. And we was gung-ho. I mean, we let it walk out. We walked on the presence out. We did everything that we knew. Do you think there are allies, anybody there? I'm just curious. I don't know. I'm just asking the question because I know it's always, you know, if you can get agreement that stuff needs to be done, or do you think there's anybody in the administration at the school, obviously your dad, but I mean, you know, who can work with you and go up against them? Because it shouldn't just be you. It should be them. Or is that's just not there? I'm just curious. Again, from your long history, are there people there who are your allies? I'm just curious.
Before they answer, I want to say this: at the NAACP meeting,
oh yeah,
staff at the school were the ones feeling attacked. Two of them, and I don't know if they rescinded, but they quit.
Yeah, we
at
can
that meeting. Two assistant principals, one African American woman, they both quit and felt like they were attacked by the students. And the female even said to Shavonne, "Well, you got what you want. I've retired."
Yeah, but see, I've
been there over 18 years, so I just wanted to kind of, I had to put that in there.
So the answer sounds like no.
Staff. Yeah, how about that? The staff are being attacked by children who are crying out because of issues at the school. So you're gonna quit because you're being attacked.
That meeting Monday, it was supposed to be like, you know, listen to students, then you listen to parents and community leaders. We was like 10 minutes in. First administrator, you want my resignation now or later? Left the Zoom call. So that's one gong. We moving down the line, talking about it, you know, pretty productive conversation, people saying what they feel. The assistant principal, she go up, I did this for Black kids. I did this. Shavonne, you got what you wanted. I've retired, and left the Zoom call.
But see, that doesn't mean that these things didn't happen despite the actions that you did. You're not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Happened. So I don't understand, but you know, okay. So it sounds like no.
the same person that attacked Shavonne during that time when I was in our incident in 2016, they told her to talk to us because she was like a black
yeah, they do that.
She came and talked to us and she was like, you guys need to take it down. It's not like that. So her being on the meeting, on the NAACP meeting and telling us all these things she did, I was like, when, where, who, what? I don't recall, because she was the one, like, she was working against us. So I'm happy she quit. I'm happy she retired, did all that.
Yeah, this is, so another situation happened around senior letter. Senior letter is a culturally appropriated step team. So me and my friends tried out, I want to say maybe like 3 Black girls and 3 Hispanic girls, you know, we finna try for senior letter, blah, blah, blah. We try and we get out. All of a sudden, the list is coming out and they already got the team picked before the tryout. And everyone who is Black or Hispanic is cut off the team. So when we confront them on why they were cut, they like, her arms are weird. You know, are we body shaming? What do you mean her arms are weird? So I went to the dean and I was like, yeah, you know, this happened. Can I, you know, report it to you? He like, oh, I think it's best if you talk to Miss Giles. She might have a better connection with it. She might have a better connection with this as a Black administrator. So they always send us to the Black people because they don't want to deal with it themselves. But she ended up making it worse. Putting a contract in place, basically telling us that we can't talk about it no more, and that it wasn't exclusion and there wasn't any bias. And if we didn't sign in the next hour, we couldn't compete on the team. So you got people tap dancing and actively working against their own community, but are trying to be given a plaque and a statue for being a ally and a sister.
Whoa. Okay. Well, so then my answer to that is no, you can't find anybody.
And look at the sponsor too. I think Gabby can talk to this a little bit, but the petition I was referring to earlier came from our white BSU sponsor. You know, she's been the ally, helping us get funding, fundraiser. Cool, right? We like, okay, you know, cool white lady. We good, you know, no issues. We good. I see you, you see me, we good. So because, and we had white sponsors because Miss Giles, I cannot, the administrator quit. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all.
Go ahead.
The administrator quit. And it was like the same thing, you know, they were feeling disrespected. So they quit, you know, as our BSU sponsor. So we didn't have a sponsor for a while, so we had to go to the white people, and the white people came in, you know, helped us get money, helped us get funding. It was cool until she put out that petition. I'm gonna pass it on to you, Gabby. You can talk about it.
Okay.
So, there's a lot to take in. It's a mess. This is a mess.
Yeah, it's off the hook.
It's just a mess.
The sponsor that she's talking about felt that she was being microaggressed when and othered. That didn't know, because if the students are coming to you and are saying that this does not support what we're standing for, then as like a sponsor of the club, you should take it down respectfully. It shouldn't be like an argument saying, well, I was affected too, I'm a member of the community, blah blah blah, things like that. That's not okay. And also having teachers come asking you to stay back after class to tell you basically stop talking about the situation because admin is going through a hard time. You can't dismiss my trauma because I'm going through this just with the other 45 Black students there. And
but also the same said teacher held back other members of her BSU club
in another class.
Do you mind turning on your camera?
Let me just say that it is not the student's job to take care of the teacher. The teacher has been to college, got the credential, went through all that process to be up there working with these young people. The teachers and the administrators' job is to create a safe space.
Safe
so
learning
can happen. The teachers and the administrator is supposed to make sure if A didn't get it right and is messing with B, A needs to fix it or A's got to go, because the B's, C's, and D's need to be able to be here so they can learn. It is not your job and any other teacher of any other kid's job to be concerned about what that teacher is feeling and what they're doing. Because I'm going to tell you what, if the teacher was doing their job, then they wouldn't be going through a hard time. They would be sitting right beside you, telling you and calling that teacher by the name. See, here's my problem. Yes, I am loud. Here is my problem. I will call you by your name. Miss So-and-so, where were you? They came to talk to you and you told them that's the way it is. You just got to get used to, hold on. Maybe that's the way it is out there, but in your school, it needs to be an environment that matches that term prestigious. This ain't prestigious.
Well, when a teacher feels he can tell a student to turn their camera on, repeat what you said in the school board meeting, and then intimidate my daughter to say, you need to stop talking about this. Clearly.
Hold on. He needs to talk about it until you fix it.
So here's the thing.
And I'm just, and seeing Dr. Marshall, I'm sorry, Dr. Marshall.
Right here.
Let me just say, as a retired educator from San Francisco Unified School District, I tell you what, I'm one of those that'll take the building down one brick at a time.
I'm really. Me too. Me too.
I know there are plenty of players in this thing, and I'm actually. What it comes down for me is you got a huge problem. The issue is, do you want to solve the problem? That's really what it comes down to. And it sounds so, so often when these things come up, The question is, they give lip service to wanting to solve the problem, and then do not follow through. And the personalities are actually secondary to me. I mean, I don't even care about, you know, Miss So-and-so, Mrs. So-and-so. Either you're part of the problem or part of the solution. That's the way I look at everything, right? And that's what's going to be interesting going on here, because people are going to get, and I've been in this situation, you get caught up in, you know, personal battles with individuals, but it's not the end. We're trying to solve a big problem here. I mean, you read this article, it's horrible, period. It's horrible.
Yeah.
We have former students, we have current students, we have, you know, the way I see it, they're under siege. We have a young lady who is a sophomore who's got 2 more years at this place. And it's got to be more than, and you're on the ground floor here, is are they really serious about changing this? And you're going to find out very quickly if they are, if they aren't. And if they aren't, then if they aren't interested in changing it, then you can do whatever you want. I mean, then you can decide, I don't know. Then whatever happens to them happens to them, because if they don't really want to make change and not have and work hard not to have the kind of thing that I read in this article continue, and that has been festering underneath for all these years, then whatever happens to Lowell happens to Lowell. It's going to happen to it. It'll crumble on, you know. I mean, and it will. I don't want to hear about reputation. I don't want to hear about standing. I don't want to hear about. I don't want to hear anything about this. You've got a huge problem, and it'll be interesting. You guys had to give me feedback as we move forward. Your impression of, because right now they're out there. Well, it ain't my fault. I did this. You know, I mean, everybody's feeling attacked. That ain't the issue. The issue is, are you going to do something about this?
Yeah.
Really. And draw the line. And Shavonne, I know you've done this. Let me tell you what happens to people like you, Shavonne. Let me just say this. Haven't been in this situation and been a BSU president, these kind of problems outlast you. They know you're gonna graduate.
They're waiting on it.
They're waiting on it, and they waited on me. They did that with me, you know. So that's usually how they waited on Tsia to get out of there. Now they wait till you get out of there, you know. But you have an opportunity here, I think, with the well-intentioned people, to really craft something and keep your eyes on the prize, to do something about what's going on at this particular school, which to me is just an indication of what's going on all over the country. I mean, this is Lowell. It could be, you know, it could be whatever. And it's really sad. But the good thing about this is that, you know, what we've done so far, and we try to do that, is highlight the problem and say, you know, we're not going to stop until we get some real substantive change. And the change, and you're not gonna, you know, when Shavonne's gone, we want change. And when Tsia's gone, we want change. And when the next up, we want change no matter who's there. And that's gonna take dedication of some people who are seriously interested in making that change. Diane, you've been there. Do you feel, this is a feeling, and I'm going back to you because, you know, you have the longest investment here in 97. Do you feel that they're interested, your gut feeling, in making the kind of change that's necessary so that these kind of things don't happen?
My gut feeling is to say, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
I think there are a lot of power dynamics here. There are teachers, again, who have a lot of power at Lowell. I don't think that the union would be able to really handle that. Just gonna put it out there. And I think that the district really may not want to fight those parents. Be it alumni, or be it current parents, or families that want their students to enroll here. And so I think that there may be a show of a little bit of force and cultural change, but they're still gonna tiptoe. But, you know, I feel hopeful in a way, especially when our superintendent Matthews even said that his mom wanted him to go to Lowell, and he said no. based upon the fact that he didn't feel like he was going to be treated well at Lowell. That's what's happening now as well. They, you know, some of these families think that, kids of color, meaning black and brown, trying to rush up on Lowell under this new, enrollment for 2021-22. There's a lot of kids of color, they don't even want to go to Lowell. They can't, they have the grades, they are smart and all of that, the kind of student that Lowell would want under any other circumstance. Those kids don't even want to go to Lowell. Even when I went to Lowell, I had a group of friends, they didn't want to go to Lowell either. You know, it was the same kind of idea. We're going to go there, not going to get treated, we're going to be outnumbered, you know, the whole nine. So all I can say is that I'm hopeful, but I think they're still going to be tiptoeing around the bush.
Yeah.
How do you feel as you and your daughter, who is, you know, you probably got the biggest, other than you got the biggest because you're there. How do you feel moving forward? Do you think they really want to make change, or?
Based on a historical lens, you know, I would go with Miss Gray and say no, but I am hopeful. Based on, you know, like she just mentioned, Dr. Matthews didn't even want to go there as a teenager. You know, that spoke volumes to me. I'm like, well, geez, I wish somebody would have told me. So I'm hopeful. I know there's legislation. They have a resolution. I know there's other things in play. Like you said, when you get the union involved and these ingrained teachers and this and that, you know, what do you do? How do you dismantle that?
Yeah, it's a difficult process. They hope to wear you down. I mean, I can relate to it being on the police commission a little bit. We had to sit through public meetings and like you, Shavonne, to midnight, and you know, but we set out some goals and we made some changes, but it is not easy. And we had the union to deal with, you know, and the problem is that people think this in terms of politics, and they think in terms of power, not in terms of right and wrong. And that's what's so horrible about this. It shouldn't even be power. It shouldn't even be power. It shouldn't be, can I get elected and run? That's garbage. It should be what happened right, or is what happened wrong. And people
it's an institution. It's an
so that's why that makes this thing so difficult to do.
Yeah.
So I like you both saying hopeful. But if any indications in the past, you'll see, and I'm really focused on YouTube because you're there. I mean, your daughter's there right now. And so, you know, it's going to be tough. We'll have to see what happens. But, you know, I know your efforts are going to be 100% at it. And we're behind you, obviously, because we don't want to happen, period. That's it, end of story, right? There's other layers. And see, I love you talking about the pressures on the police commission. I talked to a lot of Asian folks, and they would tell me stuff they wouldn't tell nobody else. I mean, I don't know why people tell me stuff they don't tell anybody else. All the pressures they went through and so on. So that's part of that. You know, I know that. So that's all there. And I don't know if they even want to deal with that, but I definitely want to deal with this because any way you can be in an environment like this daily, and with this kind of hatred and stuff directed at you. Ms. Stell, you know, I usually give you the last word with all of this, and maybe you want to give to Shavonne, but we're nearing the end of the time. This has been a great, I think, airing of all the concerns here. But I'll turn it over to you.
Mrs. Stell, can I poke the elephant one more time and you can take it home?
Poke it.
Okay, I just want to push them from the back and say, students have rules and laws in the public school. It's a student code. And if the students are saying to us, they are not physically, emotionally, and culturally safe, that too is against the law. And the reason why I'm bringing in the law is because people fear the law more than they fear other things. So if teachers want to create an unsafe environment, yank their license, shut the school down. And Gabriella, I'll see you next year at 100% college prep. I'm gonna hand walk you to any college you want, okay? Then I'm gonna throw you over to Omega Live and Free. Just hang in there, and we have your back.
Tachelle, let me just say this about the law. You're absolutely right. But all of us who've been in education know it might be hard to get rid of and get rid of a teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, anyway, not that you're wrong. Just like you wonder why these officers are still on the force. It is hard to get rid of them. Go ahead, Mr.
I seen 2 of them resign right on Zoom. I was like, that's all you had to do.
Well, maybe that's the way you got to do it.
So to Tsia, well, let me start with to Dr. Gray, to Tsia, Shavonne, Gabrielle, and Dr. and Queen T, who's right in the middle of looking after those kids. I am so sorry you've had to go through this kind of thing. I mean, when I look back over my life, I think about you young people should not have to put up with the BS, because I know we're recording.
Yes, we are.
that I've had to put up with. I mean, you're brilliant, you're beautiful, you're brilliant, and nothing should stand between you and your opportunity to develop and learn and grow. But I applaud your willingness, your courage, and your strength to take a stand. And I appreciate that. The topic tonight was about a prestigious school. I know you're surprised, Dr. Marshall.
Yes, I am.
Whose reputation was considered as really good. Top 10 in the Bay Area and the place some want to be. Yet when we get beyond the doors, there's racism all through their history. Dating back to 1978, students were stereotyped and maligned, tested and retested if their test results were high. It didn't seem to matter how good the work was they did. What seemed to matter was the color of their skin. Callous, cruel, inconsiderate, and rude when racism shows up and the administrators refuses to recognize their racism, their lack of empathy, the refusal to recognize what's wrong and then participate in students of color destruction. Being silent when teachers need to take a stand, allowing harassment, doing nothing, or just saying, I understand. Far from prestigious is a school who does not protect every child in that school, and every teacher and administrator who participates in it needs to get it together or be removed. Enough is enough past enough. The street soldiers wants everybody to clearly see it's time to stop it, turn it around. And in the meantime, please stay alive and free. This is Lady Estelle asking you to consider this.
Thank you all for coming on tonight. We will stay on top of all of this. Since I know,
can I finish off saying?
I'll probably get it earful full tomorrow. Shavonne, you want to say something?
Yeah. So everyone listening, BSU is holding a press conference and a stand in solidarity February 5th at 2 p.m. in front of Lowell High School. We're going to set up social distancing markers so people can stand and support us. We're going to be reading our list of demands at that event. Also, coming up this Tuesday, the Board of Ed is going to be releasing the resolution around Lowell and voting on it on February 9th. So you should all be in attendance.
Do we have anything on the 5th? Or... Dang.
Sorry.
I know what that was about. No, thank all of you. Shavonne, thank you for your hard work on this. Tsia, thank you for, we got to congratulate. Tsia's graduating from Spelman. She's going to graduate from Spelman. And like I told her on the phone, most of us, in fact, I know I said that we knew her father very well, worked with him, great, wonderful. I mean, like I said, he's smiling from heaven on his angel daughter. But thank all of you. Black History Month is coming up.
Thanks, Doc.
Get the book. You'll love it. You'll love it. You'll love it. You'll love it. And like I said, anybody who's read it, I may call and do a book club. You know, I don't do that, but hey, I got to talk to somebody about this because it's driving me nuts. Okay. All right, we're done. Everybody, have a good night's sleep. And your turn comes up. Get vaccinated. Okay. I got mine.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Doc.